Hey, welcome back. I'm David, the Retirement Gnome. We all have our favorite sources of retirement and financial information. For some of us, it might be a book like Die with Zero or the 5 years before you retire. And I may do a video on my favorite retirement books. But since you're here on YouTube and you're watching this video, I suspect that you get a lot of your information from YouTube and similar venues. But today I wanted to talk to you about my favorite content creators on YouTube and a couple of bonuses. These are the folks that I follow and I learn from on a regular basis. You'll also find the names in the notes section for the video in case you're interested in going and following them. All right, so the first person I'd like to talk about is the channel Erin Talks Money with Erin Moriarty. When you go to her channel, you're going to learn about tax planning, Social Security optimizations, optimized withdrawal strategies. She talks about understanding your wealth, understanding where your level of wealth fits within society. She helps you understand different spending strategies, that sort of thing. So she really focuses on spending money and investing money in retirement. Her videos usually are 10 to 20 minutes long. She's really popular. She's got 317,000 subscribers. Erin Talks Money is probably my #1 go-to YouTube resource. Okay, next we have The Plain Bagel. Plain Bagel is also a very popular YouTube channel. Richard Coffin is a CFP and also an investment analyst. He has 1.15 million subscribers. A lot of folks follow him. And one of the reasons that I like Richard's channel, The Plain Bagel, is because he's funny, he's geeky, he's really relatable. And maybe that's because I'm a geeky kind of guy. So I definitely identify with someone who is sort of self-deprecating and geeky like Richard. Also, though, that he digs in, okay? Where Erin tends to try to make things, tries to simplify complex topics, Richard will dig into a complicated topic and it will be complicated because things are complicated. He talks about financial education, investment analysis. He's really good in economics. He has a series of videos where he debunks myths. He also talks about get-rich-quick schemes, scams, things like that. I like it because he appears to be unbiased and he really focuses on education. Richard Coffin does a great job. I encourage you to follow him for your general financial education. Andy Panko, retirement planning education. Andy is one of those guys that he's kind of like the guy next door that that is sort of a financial guy, and he's just pleasant to listen to. He's easygoing. He's, again, another very nerdy kind of guy. He's not particularly funny. He's kind of like your dad, right? Not to say that he's old or anything, but he's kind of like your dad. He has dad jokes. He keeps it light and entertaining, but he focuses really on educating you about all things retirement. He goes into detailed technical explanations of retirement, taxes, IRAs, estate planning, you name it. If it has to do with money and retirement, he covers it, and he covers it in detail. So if you really want to know the mechanics of finance, the mechanics of handling your money as you approach and as you are in retirement, Andy Panko is the place to go. Retirement planning education. He also has a really active Facebook group where you can post questions, and the retirement planning education family jumps in and answers, usually with really good advice, really good information. Speaking also of somebody who doesn't have a huge following but provides outstanding information is Benjamin Brandt at Even Better Retirement. Benjamin focuses on the transition to retirement. He emphasizes that after a lifetime of saving, you need to enjoy the fruits of your labor. He tries to make you comfortable with your money in retirement. He wants you to spend it. He wants you to enjoy life. He wants you to make the most of your life. One thing I forgot to mention about Andy, which is also true about Benjamin Brandt, is they both have podcasts, just audio only podcasts that go in even deeper and other topics. They do interviews and things like that. So if you are interested in either of these guys, either Andy Panko or Benjamin Brandt, also I encourage you to subscribe to their audio podcasts. Benjamin focuses on the psychological shift from saving mode to spending mode, and encouraging retirees to have fun. So go to @evenbetterretirement to learn more about that. So those are my primary financial sources. I've got a couple of sources, sort of a mix of both life topics and financial topics. And let's start with Kevin Lum. Kevin Lum is a CFP. His channel is @Foundry Financial. And what he does is he focuses on wealth management. He covers investment strategies and spending plans, but he spends a lot of time on life topics, just making the most of life. And he brings it to you from a financial perspective. But really, what he's trying to do is convince you not to waste your life dealing with taking care of parents, taking care of children. He goes over difficult topics. I really respect Kevin Lum and his knowledge, and I encourage you to follow him and learn what you can from Kevin. I think he's a good source. Another source that is a mix of life and financial is Joe Kuhn. His channel is @Joe Kuhn Loves Retirement. Joe was one of the first YouTubers I started following when I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to retire. Joe is someone that I can identify with. I was an engineer. Joe is an engineer. He's a communicator. I'm trying to become a communicator. He was in a manufacturing environment. I spent a career in a manufacturing environment managing people. So Joe, when he first started his channel, he focused on lean manufacturing. But at some point, he found that people enjoyed him talking about retirement topics a lot more than they liked him talking about lean manufacturing. So he shifted his focus. So he's been retired since he turned 54, and he's using his engineering knowledge, his financial knowledge, to help us understand more about approaching and going into and moving through retirement. He talks a lot about the emotional side of things too, the struggles that he's had and the struggles he's seen other people have. He spent a little while doing financial coaching, which he stopped after a while because it was just too much. It was very popular, but he learned a lot from that financial coaching, and he shares that with his audience of 113,000 subscribers. Joe he's funny, he's interesting, he's down to earth, and if you want to learn more about life and retirement, I encourage you to follow Joe Kuhn. The next on that mix of financial and life topic presenters is James Canole @Root Financial. James's channel is @RootFP. He covers aligning your values with your financial planning. He does talk about tax strategies and investment and retirement planning, but he often goes beyond the numbers. He discusses why you want to spend money a certain way, not just here's how to figure out how much money you can spend, but asking yourself the question, how do I turn my money from something that I'm trying to hang on to into a tool that I can use to make my life better and to make the life of the people around me better. All right. And then I've got some people that I follow that aren't financial at all, typically. I mean, they talk a little bit about money, but they're more about just living, surviving in retirement. The first one I follow is Painter Pops. His name is Larry, and he calls it retirement survival. He doesn't talk about money. He talks about psychology and emotion, dealing with grief, your changing role, moving from working to retirement, going through physical struggles and dynamics within the family. He tells very interesting stories about his family and so forth. And Larry is the person who comes to the table with just the years of wisdom. It's easy to digest, he's very personable, and it's simple and straightforward. So if you want to kind of hear what retirement can be like and how somebody can work through their struggles and into making a successful retirement, retirement survival with Larry, that's the place to. Another person I go to, just not for financial advice, but just kind of for life advice and for entertainment, is Buzz's Retirement Garage. You know, I have no clue how Buzz has ended up with almost 33,000 subscribers. He's corny. He's a Midwestern goofball. He talks a little bit about surviving on Social Security only. He's done a year-long experiment where he shared the numbers of what it was like going through trying not to spend savings, because he doesn't have a lot of savings. Talking about how he's tried to save money, his struggles with spending, his successes, but he also just talks about life. He talks about loneliness, hanging on to friends, staying busy, making a difference. All these things that when you pass from work to retirement that you struggle with. He's been retired for a couple of years, and I'm really watching him closely because I'm now just a few weeks into retirement, and I'm learning by watching what he's struggled with. So I think he's great, and he puts out a lot of content. He does a lot of live feeds and things like that. So Buzz is really entertaining and interesting, just kind of a slice of life channel. And someone I've started watching in the last few months is Retire This Way with 500K. Her name is Trena. I enjoy Trena because, you know, she kind of tells it like it is. She really focuses on her struggles and her successes. So those are all the ones that I go to on a regular basis, but I have a couple of bonuses for you here. The first one is someone that I have just recently started watching. Her name is Rachael Camp. She has a firm called Camp Wealth. She's a CFP who she really focuses on building and preserving wealth for high earners and for people who are retiring before 65. She focuses on kind of work optional living. She wants to help with her content. She helps people build wealth before retirement. So maybe this isn't for, if you're already retired, this might not be the thing for you, but I find her content to be interesting. So, and finally, a bonus that is not even on YouTube is the How to Money podcast. This is an audio only podcast with Matt Altmix and Joel Larsgaard. They have a great website called howtomoney.com where they have some super tools. They've got some credit card selection tools and some other things like that that are honestly really useful. I love their podcast. They have a really great synergy. They have great conversations, and they have a really nice format where each week they do 3 videos. The first video, at least as at the time I'm recording this, the first video of the week is questions from people who listen to the podcast. The second podcast, they don't do videos. The second podcast is an interview, and then the third podcast they call Friday Flight, where they cover things that are in the news. So the first 2 are kind of evergreen, and then the third one is just current events in finance and other things like that. They really focus on a rich life. They focus on using money as a tool to live a rich life now, not just saving it for later. They're all about frugality. They're all about saving money and investing wisely, but they also want you to enjoy your life. And I really enjoy listening to Matt and Joel on a regular basis. It's not aimed toward retirees, okay? It's really aimed at a younger audience, people who are looking forward to retiring someday. But they're still great to listen to, and I still learn something every time I listen to their podcast. That's all I've got for today. I hope you found that to be interesting. The content creators I listed will be in the notes below, and you can go there and learn more about them and find their channels. So thanks for watching. I hope you'll subscribe and like it so that I can get a little credit with YouTube. They can push me up in the algorithm a little bit. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.